This reading is for the sign of Capricorn. This is going to get us through the rest of September 2025. Capricorn, we're going to touch base on elements of astrology. Then we're going to dive into the tarot, clarifying deck, and then affirmation that will be beneficial to us for the remainder of the month. This is a general reading, so please take what resonates for you and leave the rest for somebody who doesn't. If this comes across your news feed, we'll say it. We all say it. It's probably meant for you. And that's the only time I've said that in this reading, in these readings. So maybe there's something. Capricorn, we will talk about kind of good points and low points, energies that we need to be aware of. As I am recording these videos, it is the night of the full moon, which also happens to be the lunar eclipse. Naturally, for everybody with this full moon and this lunar eclipse, we are going to be forced to get rid of what no longer serves us or provides us value or, continues to contribute to our life. We will be forced to get rid of as the days and the weeks go forward. So we can make a choice that either we are willing to let go and move on from something ourselves, and we can request to bring in something else, or Spirit and Universe will probably force our hands to do so. So tonight's a good time to reflect on that no longer serves you, that you no longer want, or those people that no longer belong in your life, and release it and renew. So let go so that way we can bring in a new energy flow. For the rest of the week, so through the eclipse week for you specifically, you probably will find insight in your goals, your ambitions, and answers to your questions through conversation. Conversation with family, friends, through relationships, whatever that looks like. You will probably gain insights and sort of downloads while you're in the middle of conversations with others. So you're going to find insight within your own words. Make sure that as we embark on these journeys, we avoid elements of speech that could be hateful, hurtful. We should always do that to the best of our ability, but we can't take back what we have said. So try to avoid conversations that will make you react versus think. That will be big for you this week. We have a little bit of a tense energy for you, so just make sure that our words and our actions are thought through fully. And then as we approach the 21st to the 22nd, that is when we will then approach the solar eclipse in your second house. You can expect financial resets to happen. Financial resets of maybe things were a little bit tightened. We may come into some more money, some more ways to earn more money. We may get a promotion. We may put ourselves in a position to demand a promotion. Look for elements of financial resets. So if we have done some overindulging, look for ways that we can kind of reset that and bring that back to kind of the norm. We will probably see all of our Capricorn friends around that time, the 21st to the 22nd, reevaluating and realigning areas that maybe they have neglected as far as their own values go. So what they hold dear, how they wish to be treated, directions and people within our lives. We probably will find realignment there for you. You'll also feel a little bit more focus starting to come to the forefront. You'll probably feel as though you can focus on tasks or new skills, creative endeavors. You may find that you have suddenly felt a little bit more caring about others as well. So you're going to start to focus on things that maybe sort of were neglected to begin with. Challenges that we can see as the month continues is that the eclipse energies will often bring chaos in. So with all that energy, that's good. Don't be surprised if the energy in yourself or your schedule feels a little bit chaotic. You want to stay mindful when you're engaging in negotiations with others. So now's not actually the greatest time to negotiate down with price, or let's say you're getting a new car. I would evade that until probably the 21st or so. But if you can't avoid negotiations, maybe we're buying a house or negotiating a contract, then just make sure that as we do that, we are very mindful when we speak, because sometimes it can come off a little more egotistical and people will be less willing to kind of work with you or push through. Contracts should be approached with care, almost like a retrograde. Not that we can't, but again, read the fine print. Watch negotiations when it comes to contractual obligations. Be a little aware of who you open up to during this time. mostly on the side of super emotional and hard discussions and hard topics. Be just a little bit careful when it comes to that because, again, the emotions are super heightened. Probably the more difficult part for you will be, until the 21st, resisting the urge to make big decisions and finalize major choices and such. Lean into kind of listening to your gut instincts when it comes to that. And as we get into the tarot, first card out of the deck is our Ace of Wands. Now, Ace of Wands tells us that we're open and we're looking towards new beginnings. So we have a deep desire to achieve. We have a deep desire to fulfill the needs and wishes that we do have. We are starting this new cycle with new beginnings. That could be in love, jobs, finance, relationship, something new that has come to the forefront, a new something coming into your life. We're open to that now. Six of Wands is about finding balance and recognizing that we are lacking in certain areas, recognizing that maybe our confidence is a little bit low. We need to focus on building that confidence. So Six of Wands is about having the confidence to make that decision, the confidence for this passionate new beginning. But I feel as though we're lacking in some of that energetically when it comes to what's happening in the stars. So if we can recognize that we're just going through a moment in time and speak into kind of existence, kind words about yourself and fulfillment, you're going to see that pay you back kind of tenfold. And then we have our Three of Pearls energy in reverse. A lot of readings have had this, and that's a feeling of being closed off or isolated in some regards, as well as maybe worried about, the fear of rejection. So if this is about a new relationship that you're interested in pursuing, maybe something's holding you back because you're afraid of rejection. Nothing to be afraid of. Use that inner confidence. Build the confidence up to ask for what it is that you want and desire, or ask that person. Queen of Pearls in the upright tells us that we're really at a balanced point with wanting to nurture something into existence. It's a very taking care of energy. Maybe this is, again, about bringing in a new relationship, somebody that you want to take care of. That doesn't have to mean like, you're the sugar daddy or nothing, but that means that maybe we just want to be the provider of all things beneficially emotional. We want to show somebody that we care. Maybe they're going through a hard time and we want to be there for them. That's all great energy to have. So it's bringing in elements of very maternal, very caring energy. So very protective energy. But it brings in a lot of balance and harmony into these situations. Then we have our Hanged Man. That card came up in the reverse. So that tells us that things are kind of stagnant. There's almost no real direction. You're sort of stuck in limbo, maybe on this decision. Maybe you are torn between something and you have to try to decide what that looks like. We need to kind of go deep within so that way we can find that direction. The Hanged Man, when it comes in the upright, the Hanged Man tells us that we're very much gaining new perspective and we feel liberated. We're super excited. And I really like these cards to find their way into the upright. But at this time, again, we have no real direction and we're very hesitant towards our path forward. And then we have our Hierophant card in reverse. This is a really, we have to not do things, or we have to allow things to not happen in the traditional form that we thought that they would. It's about having a revelation as far as maybe what you want and the direction you go towards. So bring in this new beginning. And then we end with our Triumph card. In this deck, this is about shedding your old skin, bringing in positivity, joy, all things protected, high achievement. So as you embark on this new beginning, again, remember that we are going to use this energy a little bit wisely as things go. We have our Whispers card. So listen to the voices within. Spirit is helping to guide your way. Listen to the insight and the downloads that are coming through and shining through for you. And if you need a little bit of assistance, whisper right back to Spirit. We forget to ask for help sometimes. We expect it to just happen. And then for your affirmation, so this is great to recite to yourself daily. You've pulled everything I desire, desires me more. And I know you can't see this because it's in backwards, but it's there. Everything I desire, desires you more. So that's understanding that you have the ability and the confidence to move forward, and they will desire you. Good luck with your love.